rise of the tide to rupture the rocks. The silent rocks that orchestrate the song of the waves. The waves that personify persistence are truly inspiring, not because they rise and fall, but because they never fail to rise again. The rocks that stand the test of the tireless tides inspire grit and strength to the whole of humanity. The waves that repeatedly surrender at the reverent feet of the saintly rock. You might begin to wonder about this place of scintillating beauty and serene sanctity. This magnificent marvel is found at the southernmost tip of India, where the eastern and western coasts taper to create a place of bountiful beauty called Kanyakumari. Apart from its scenic beauty, it stands to symbolize the supreme unity by being the synthetic spot where the waters of the Bay of Bengal, the Indian Ocean, and the Arabian Sea seamlessly merge. Since time immemorial, the rock has its sacred place in the hearts of the devotees of Goddess Shakti, as a special seat of sanctity and as a powerful space for penance. It was precisely because of this spiritual significance that Swami Vivekananda, an ardent devotee of Durga, was prompted to sojourn there for meditation.
Hey Sadhu! Hey Sadhu!
Seated on that sacred rock, he dissolved himself into deep meditation. In that deep communion with the Divine Mother, he received illumination, the highest experience of spiritual realization. It was here that he discovered the mission ordained for him by the Divine. The jnana that he received here transformed him into a great master and a nation builder, which eventually shaped him into a universal guide as well. It was in the fitness of things that, in memory of the great event in Swami's life, his countrymen aspired to raise at that spot a grand memorial which would be an abiding source of inspiration to posterity.
This is the place on which Swami Vivekananda meditated for 3 days from 25th December to 27th December 1892. This is the place, source of inspiration for all the people who visit here. Swami Vivekananda, after meditating here, went round the globe spreading the message of Indian culture, the spirit of India's unity, fraternity, and the spirit of oneness.
This sacred spot, where the great Swami attained enlightenment to undergo a divine metamorphosis, came to be known as Vivekananda Rock in later years. Built against the backdrop of blue waters, the Vivekananda Rock Memorial consists of two main structures, namely Vivekananda Mandapam and the Sripada Mandapam. The place Kanyakumari is a veritable symbol of sanctity as well. As the legend goes, it was here that goddess Parvati, in one of her incarnations as Devi Kanya, did tapasya. From ancient times, this rock has been regarded as a sacred place. In Puranic tradition, it has been known as Sripada Pare. Sripada means the feet of the goddess, and Pare in Tamil stands for rock. The structure is built around the Sripada. The Garbhagriham of the Sripada Mandapam is designed strictly in accordance with the Ayadi Pramana Lakshanam as detailed in Shilpa Shastra. The structure is reminiscent of Tamil architecture of Chola period. The Mandapam has 3 prakarams and an Ekatala Vimanam from the terrace level. The entire structure is built with blue granite. The aesthetic and creative ability of the artisans are expressed in each pillar of the structure. The Shilpa Shastra gave detailed instructions regarding the selection of proper stones for construction and artistic work. The quality of a stone is ascertained by examining its lines, color, grains, color spots, and patches. The quality is also determined by analyzing the sound it emits on being tapped. Vivekananda Mandapam is situated opposite to Sripada Mandapam. It is decorated with 4 sections, that is, Mukha Mandapam, Sabha Mandapam, Pratima Mandapam, and Dhyana Mandapam. At the main entrance, 2 elephant figures carved in granite on either side of the broad steps welcome us. On climbing the steps, we arrive at Mukha Mandapam. Ayavistara Shikharam crowns the Mukha Mandapam, along with corner foliage designs carved artistically from Pallava sculpture. Red granite has been used for Shikharam and Prastaram. The bottom portion of the Shikharam is called Prastaram, which is in Ajanta style of Shilpa Shastra. The Prastaram is supported by 6 pillars. The ceiling, or Vitana, is polished in blue granite. Looking up, we could see artistic carvings on ceiling, beams, and on columns. A Padma motif in bold relief adorns the center of the ceiling.
The Rock Memorial has a beautiful arts made from Pallavas and beautiful black and red granites. It's a wonder 50 years back, when the technology is not that high, not that advanced, how 30 to 40 tons of single stones were transferred from the jetty onto this rock. 700 people, about 6 to 7 years, have worked day in and day out, and they contributed their sweat, their life, and their breath for this.
In Sabha Mandapam, all the door frames are in blue granite. They are decorated with traditional floral designs which are polished like a mirror. Throughout the Sabha Mandapam, we could feel Chola period artistic work. A tall bronze statue of Vivekananda is the center of attraction of Sabha Mandapam. This section, known as Pratima Mandapam, is decorated with 4 ornamental pillars. The artistic flair of the artist is distinctly felt in each pillar. The floral designs carved on the ornamental columns are partly adopted from Pallava style with flavor of tradition. The statue of Vivekananda inside Sabha Mandapam was prepared by Sri N.L. Sonavadekar, Assistant Lecturer Sculpture, Sir J.J. School of Art, Mumbai. 2 decorated rooms in Sabha Mandapam house big portraits of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Mother Sharada Devi. Both the paintings are done by Sri S.M. Pandit, a renowned portrait artist of Bombay. The Sri Pada Mandapam and the statue have been so designed that the vision of Swamiji in the statue is seen directed towards the Sri Padam, which is situated at a little lower elevation and is at a distance of 218 feet from the statue point.
The statue of Vivekananda, which is a standing statue there, though he meditated, the statue is after meditation. With what mission of life, with what call for all the people of India, like arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached, he stood up. So, that determination, that mission, that inspiration, all that reflects that statue. That is why this spot, Vivekananda Rock Memorial, is so important that anyone in his life who really wants to know what for he is born, what is the purpose of his life, he can visit it, meditate there, and as Swami Vivekananda had discovered the mission of his life, even we can discover the mission of our life.
The Vivekananda Mandapam, housing the statue of Swami Vivekananda, and the Sri Pada Mandapam stand at a distance of 60 feet from one another and on different elevations of the rock. Stapati Sri S.K. Achari of Devakotai, Tamil Nadu, a renowned architect and engineer of the traditional school, built the memorial in accordance with traditional Shilpa Shastra.
ஏகநாச்சி கட்டார் உங்களுக்கு அனுபவம் கூட உள்ள சபதி யாராவது இருந்தால் நீங்கள் ஆட் பண்ணிக்கங்க, ஆலோசனை கேட்கலாமே அப்படின்ட்டாரு. இதை போல் இன்னும் 10 மடங்கு பெரிய கோவிலாக இருந்தாலும் நான் அதை செய்ய முடியும் சார், நீங்கள் கவலையே கூடாது அச்சா அப்படின்னாரு. உடனே அச்சா பேச விட்டுறாரு.
On the rear beam of the Mukha Mandapam, Gajapurna Kumbha is carved. There are 7 domes or shikharams that stand as a crown over Sabha Mandapam, 2 smaller domes over the entrance of the Sabha Mandapam, and 5 domes above Pratima Mandapam. The designs of domes resemble that of Ramakrishna Temple at Belur near Kolkata, although a regional touch has been given to these domes by raising typical Gopuram designs which are prevalently found in Tamil Nadu temple architecture. For domes, red granite quarried from Tuticorin has been used. These stones are dug out from an underground quarry. Thus, these stones are costlier and require more labor for dressing. The Dhyana Mandapam is constructed with a view to provide a proper place and atmosphere for those visitors who may like to sit in calmness and meditate for some time. Within the Dhyana Mandapam is installed a highly polished altar with the symbol of Om mounted on it. This altar is called Pranava Peetham. While the style of Pranava Peetham has been adapted from the Pallava architecture, there is a blend of Chola and Pallava styles seen in the two ornamental pillars erected on both sides of Pranava Peetham.
Eknath also wanted the people's participation. He wanted the message of Swami Vivekananda to reach lakhs and lakhs of people in the country. So he worked upon a novel idea which has not been tried any time before. That is a pamphlet for rupee 1. Rupee 1 was very valuable in those days. In that a colorful pamphlet, in that the project proposal with all the details of the architecture on the rock appeared in a very impressive manner.
Today, Vivekananda Rock has become a symbolic identity with Kanyakumari. When we took this chance to glance back at the history, the sooner we realized that it was a choice which we made to rejoice. How did the rock appear before 1970? Let's have a look at it. On 6th November 1964, the rocks danced to the tune of Chisel, which began to unveil the memorial. Great works are born out of those minds which are filled with high thoughts and highest ideals, said Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda Rock Memorial is one such spectacular work conceived and actualized by Eknath Ranade, whose vision was not to put a cement and concrete structure, but to erect a dynamic monument capable of bringing into fruition Swamiji's grand vision of future India. Apart from his untiring zeal and undying optimism, it was his true sense of nationalism which made him accomplish this feat, which is so unique and unrivaled in the annals of history. The fact that he garnered the support of 323 parliamentarians in a mere 3 days to build the symbol of united aspiration of our nation stands as a testimony to his infinite capacity and intellectual conviction. He is truly a chosen instrument of Swami Vivekananda's dream.
A monument for which 323 members of the parliament, they signed and appealed for it. This is a monument for which various state governments, almost all the state governments in our country, whatever party was in the power, it contributed minimum 1 lakh rupees for this. Again, this is a monument for which in those days 1 rupee, 2 rupees were collected from the people of India, and that is how 85 lakhs were collected for this memorial.
Earlier, an examination of the inner core of the Vivekananda rock was also undertaken by drilling a bore of about 60 feet depth on the top tableland of the rock. Though the bulk of the granite required for the construction of the memorial was procured from the quarry near Ambasamudram, about 72 kilometers from Kanyakumari, the huge pieces necessary for shaping big monolithic pillars to support the central Shikharam over the Pratima Mandapam were procured from a quarry near Pottayadi, a place about 7 miles away from Kanyakumari.
Carved stone pillars weighing up to 14 tons were taken on barges. Nobody could imagine that such massive stones could be taken to the rock. A sliding arrangement on the rock was elaborately prepared, and these heavy stones were pulled up along the slope to reach the top. There was total cooperation from the stonemasons to all the laborers, who found that the memorial is going to be a remarkable one, and they are participating in such a massive project.
The entire masonry work of the memorial structure, which ultimately rose up to 65 feet in height from the base of the memorial edifice, was executed by resorting to only traditional methods, by erecting a massive framework of scaffoldings with stumps of palmyra and poles of casuarina trees, and without using a crane or any other type of sophisticated machinery. The Rock Memorial was inaugurated by the then President of India, V.V. Giri, on the 2nd of September 1970. True to its identity as a symbol of unity, the whole nation wished, worked, and contributed towards the making of the memorial, which brought out the spirit of brotherhood that has always existed in our multicultural motherland.
Thousands of national leaders, hundreds of global leaders, they have visited here, and this is the place where everybody, saints, national leaders, politicians, patriots, army people, and all the people who have realized their mission in their life, they have drawn the spirit of inspiration from this source, the source of inspiration.
Rudyard Kipling, in his work The Ballad of East and West, wrote, "Oh, east is east and west is west, and never the twain shall meet, till earth and sky stand presently at God's great judgment seat. But there is neither east nor west, border nor breed nor birth, when two strong men come face to face, though they come from the ends of the earth." Swami Vivekananda was that strong man who broke all barriers to assimilate the best that existed in the West and the East. In him met the ancient wisdom of the East and the scientific temper of the West. It's definitely not a coincidence that this marvelous memorial dedicated to him was founded at a place where the coasts of the West and the East meet each other.
The three seas meet at Kanyakumari. We can also see the sunrise and sunset. That's how Eknathji Ranade, who had led this effort to build the Vivekananda Rock Memorial at Kanyakumari on that rock, he used to say that this rock memorial also should be the symbol of unity, of harmony, and that's how even for the architecture of Vivekananda Rock Memorial, various styles like Pallava architecture, Chola architecture, Ajanta architecture, various traditional designs from different temples of our country, all these were harmoniously blended to create this unique Vivekananda Rock Memorial.
The structure of the Rock Memorial, which resembles a prayerful hand protecting her land, reminds us of Swamiji's infinite love for his motherland. The memorial is yet another source of eternal wisdom, inspired by Swamiji's man-making mission with a radiant vision for the nation. Undoubtedly, it has taken its place as an iconic landmark for Kanyakumari. It was on this rock that Swamiji scaled the sunlit summits of silence, which propelled him to spread the wisdom of our land to the Western minds. His electrifying speech at Chicago shook the world from its slumber and set the spiritual compass towards India. Although the rock steps into its 50th year, it is to be remembered with reverence that it was this rock that bestowed Swamiji with a timeless wisdom to deliver his remarkable address at Chicago. Undoubtedly, it stands proudly as a lighthouse of wisdom to the entire sea of mankind.